Evening.
Come on in, guys. Get in the booth. Come on
Yes,
in.
let's like and share. Like and share. I need to find it so I can share it.
Exactly. That's what I'm
Um,
trying to do right now. Let's just get on up in here. Yeah.
yeah.
So, this is the last. Y'all, can y'all believe that we have made it one whole year presenting the
Mm-hmm.
kissing booth to our community?
I'm
It's
Yeah.
exciting. I'm
yes.
so
Yeah.
proud of us with this. This was an effort that we rolled out in January 2022. And guess what? And we're here. We really did it, and it is exciting. And we have loved us so much, loved the kissing booth so much, and we have loved interacting with you guys so much that guess what? We are making new strides to revamp the
Mm-hmm.
kissing booth so that we can do even more. So we are really going to pull it up. We going to
Pick it
just
up.
do
Pick
some
it up.
amazing things. Pick it up. Exactly.
Exactly.
I don't want to pull
Yeah.
it up. Pick it up. We picking it up.
Yeah. So it might be not just we might have a little delay in January because we getting stuff ready to when we come back for season two of
Mm-hmm.
the Kiss and Move. It's gonna be look a little differently. So, um, yeah. So if you missed our last episode, because the end of the year has been so hectic and busy, so
Oh my
sometimes we
goodness.
had to rearrange some things and all of that. But if you missed the last episode of Kissing Booth, that was Candid Conversations with Cairo. Uh, that was episode 23. So if you want to go back and listen to that, definitely go back and hear that. That was definitely a conversation that many people don't like to have. Or
Yes.
it's a very complex conversation. So definitely um,
Check
check
it out.
it out. Hmm.
It was on AIDS Awareness Day.
Hmm.
He definitely let us know that there are resources out there for the community, especially in New York. If there's anyone here watching from New York, he just told us, about hey, if you are HIV positive, if you're on the streets, it's so many different resources out there with you all, and that it is not a death sentence. You can leave a very life, you can thrive, and and just make stuff happen because he talked about his struggles, being HIV positive, being a gay male in the church, and
Hmm.
just his struggles with that, and how he was able to overcome, and the support and the community that he was able to grasp onto,
Hmm.
to help pivot and make some great things happen in his life. And so we know that there are a lot of people out there who struggle with some of these issues and have some concerns on how to interact with the LGBTQ plus community. And we wanted to have this candid conversation to say, hey, how is it that we conversate with, interact, and so that we can
Hmm.
present ourselves as an inclusive community, inclusive to all members of the
Hmm.
community, regardless of their age or sexual preference, or in any of those
Hmm.
things. And so we want to have even more of these conversations moving into 2023, because as we like to say, Power 52, definitely we are on the front lines of diversity, equity, and inclusion, where it intersects with clean energy access, and environmental justice. So that is
Hmm.
a huge umbrella. And so those are the types of things that we like to bring to our community, so that everyone is inclusive and they have access to so many different things. And
Hmm.
so thank you, Cairo. Check him out. He is located in New York, and he's having services up there. So if you are looking for a community, a church community that's inclusive, hit him up. You have to watch the show to find out how, though.
Exactly. So, Lo, have you watched The Best Man final chapters yet?
I have. I finished. But
Oh,
that's
okay. I
I'm
only seen
good.
bits and pieces. So over the holiday break, the Best Man final chapters premiered on Peacock. So those of you that don't have Peacock, go get Peacock so you can see the final installment. Um, so many are talking about it. So I was seeing bits and pieces. So I can't
First,
speak too much. But the parts I've seen, I said, oh, it was some tough. It was you know.
listen. First of all, I'm so glad that they decided to do the best man in this manner. I did not know what to expect. I thought that it was going to be, popcornish, if you will. But I thought they did a great job, ending the, whole best man trilogy or, just
Yeah.
yeah. And so, but let me tell you something. And I know PJ is going to, but Robbie was doing a lot.
Uh,
Robin. Yeah. What did you think about that? And Lo, PJ said we can't do any spoilers, but
right. So I can't say what I'm gonna say, but yeah, no. But I can say this. What I don't like is the way though she gets a lot of heat, like for the character. Like, why do they create the black woman in some of these things sometimes? Just
Mhm,
the way they do. Same with Jordan, right? Like, why does her storyline have to end that way? And I just kind of
mhm.
didn't like that. But what I can say, one thing that I did like about it all is the brotherhood that they show for them.
Oh
Right? That
yeah. I
they
definitely
hold
like
each other accountable, right?
mhm,
But they still will show up for each other,
mhm,
right? Like they're gonna tell you how it is. And so that is one thing that I really love, that they like that last scene of that last
mhm,
episode,
mhm.
in
Yeah,
Hidden
I love
Blessings.
that. Uh-huh.
That alone was like, yeah, I was like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
that was strong.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they like to show that, African American males, there's no
Yeah.
unity in this
Yeah.
community. And
Mm-hmm.
they definitely ended it, on a high note.
No,
Like
yeah.
I absolutely love that. Um,
Mhm.
but I did like that they showed I don't know, you said you had a problem with it, but I like that they showed different aspects. It wasn't like, a lot of times when these shows they have affluent African American families, then everyone's married and life is so
Mhm.
great and grand. But they showed different, I guess, like real stories of how it can go down. You
Yeah.
Yeah.
know,
Like
and the married
even mhm.
couple, you had the single one, and so on. Um,
Or even
and
how relationships go through stages and evolve, and you fall out of love or fall out of whatever with the
exactly.
person. Hmm.
Right. But and so I kind of had gotten into a debate with someone today, and I wanted to see. So I put a post out on my Facebook page to see, how
Hmm.
people would react to this. So, a lot of people, they, and definitely during COVID, there were a lot of divorces in COVID. And so people tend to think that if you are married and then you separate, then you should act single.
Hmm.
In my mind, it's like if you are having relationship issues and you separate, until the fat lady has sung, then there's still a time
Hmm.
that you should that you can come back together and that you can go to therapy and work things out and work through things. But it's these mistresses and these people who want to come in and say, oh, this is a vulnerable situation, let me intersect to see if I can grab myself a husband, if I can grab
Mm-hmm.
myself a man. And so they feel justified in what they're saying because
Hmm.
they said y'all are separate, and because y'all are doing this, then they feel like, oh yeah, this is time for me to pounce on a vulnerable situation to see if I can come up a winner or whatever.
Hmm.
And so anyway, so I took to Facebook just to get a poll, just to see if I had a misunderstanding of when a person is single. Is it the filing of the divorce, or is it after?
It's after when they say the final decree, whatever it is. That's
Uh,
what. Because even if you think about it medically, say if you're separated from your spouse, and say if they have a heart attack and they in a coma or something,
Mhm.
uh, the girlfriend don't get no say so. They say
Mhm.
this is technically still the wife, and
That part.
the wife got the final say on what goes around. And
Mhm.
so that's
Exactly. And
legal.
yeah. And so this person tends to think that, oh, because I started messing with them and you had filed for divorce, or, this person had filed for divorce, then, that makes it okay for,
No ma'am, no sir, no ham, no turkey, no cheese. No,
Yeah, what are your
you are
thoughts, Flo?
still you still married.
Well, so I know a couple people that were in that situation.
Okay.
And I think that there has to be, for me, just a little bit of understanding, right? They were in an abusive marriage.
Mhm.
And in Maryland at the time, I don't know if this is still the rules or anything.
Mhm.
Um, you have to be separated for a year. I think it is if
Mhm.
you have kids involved. And so she was in an abusive marriage, filed for divorce. He was locked up too, at the time,
Mhm.
got locked up due to everything that was going on. And so she did proceed to date, not right away, but
Mhm.
during those times when she was still legally married,
Mhm.
right? So um, I think that there has to be something like those to those extremes. That's where you're like, okay. But I do agree, like I would always say you're still technically married until, like, I mean, you can't deny
Well,
that.
you
Like,
know what? Well, here's the thing. So, if just to give a little light on what you're saying, even though she had her circumstances or whatever, had that been found out, then
oh
she
yeah,
could have
yeah,
forfeited her case because, yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
or something could have happened legally, because now she is stepping outside of her marriage, having an extramarital affair,
Mhm.
and then some other things could have happened, and so.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, and so I was, so I was talking to, this guy. It was something else, PJ. What did I tell you? It was something else that and he and I's conversation. I can't think of it. But yeah, but at any rate, I love The Best Man. I love that they showed all the different, angles of relationships and how it works. But one thing someone had commented on my post when I said, "Hey, when are you single? Is it when you
Mhm.
file for divorce, or is it when the divorce is final by the judge?"
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
someone said, "Well, you go before God to get married, and you should go before God to get divorced." So at the
Mhm.
end of the day, you guys should be working as a team, because, and someone else told me too, that, you go into counseling to get married, premarital marital counseling. And so
Mhm.
then you should at least have about 6 months prior to getting divorced to unravel things, so
Mhm.
that there is
Mhm.
some closure. And so you're working together, because if you just, literally, what a lot of people like to do, I was getting ready to say men, but what a lot of people like to do is daisy chain relationships, you
Mhm.
know, and so you take your baggage from this one relationship and daisy chain it into another, because here you are screwing
Mhm.
around with somebody else and you're not even divorced yet, and now you're feeling like you're rescued. So that person,
Mhm.
I guess, is some sort of adrenaline rush that you get from this person, quote unquote, rescuing you, instead of you pouring back into your marriage to rejuvenate what you've already had. And
Mhm.
so I have, talked to people. So, this one girl I was talking to, like I'm telling you, she had been married for 28 years.
Mhm.
And yeah, and had been with her husband for like 35, known them since that many. And
Wow.
at the end of the day, it's all this daisy chaining of these relationships. And so if you feel that the relationship that you're going into is going to be prosperous, well, guess what? Whatever got you to where they were, trust me, they haven't even had a chance to unravel, if you will.
Mhm.
So it's just best to spend some time with yourself And like the
Mhm.
person said on my timeline, seek the Lord and all of that.
Yeah.
So it's just funny. People want to quote these scriptures, but then they want to be sleeping with people, men. But we won't even go there.
Jesus. But some people are serious, don't know how to live life without a person, and they are serial daters and all that type of stuff. I have a friend like that. He's a serial dater. He don't know how to sit still, be by himself. I'm like, get yourself.
Yeah. And
So,
and I've known a lot of people who have, I'll call it daisy chaining relationships, but they have gone from being in high school, daisy chaining, through college, daisy chaining, and then they end up with somebody, and then they don't even really know who they are because they have never, experienced life with just themselves. So they don't
mhm,
know if it's a woman, they don't know what they're capable of obtaining or, just, doing things in life, because they've always had to rely on somebody else. And
yeah,
so, for the youngins listening, for me, it's like, do you
mhm,
for a minute? See if you can go out and have, buy the house, buy the car, and get the successful career before you just jump into these relationships and daisy chain. And then 30 years later, you don't know who the heck you are. And you just settled for something else.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
so
anyway,
definitely, yeah. Check out Best Man final chapters, and then you can see all that we talking about.
exactly. You'll see.
Uh,
Trust me.
that's on Peacock. So another almost relationship type of topic. Nick Cannon has just had baby number 12. He
Now,
had baby number 12, and recently he said he is having difficulty spending time with all 12 of his children because they
I
might.
can see how.
Yeah. So, question: when is enough? When is enough enough? Or and is he fulfilling his role as a father with all these children and all these women and being in their various different
Yeah, that's what I would say. Like,
Right.
I think the difference is that they're all in different households for the most part. I mean, I think it's like two of them that may
Yeah.
be by the same parent, but you're trying to now say that they're in different households. You cannot be present. And what was interesting was there was this thing on Twitter where I guess Akon
Okay.
had comment on it and said, well, going to like dance recitals isn't important. Like, so he was okay with what Nick Cannon was doing. And so I love that it turned into a trend because what it turned into were fathers, a lot of Black fathers, sharing their stories of them showing up to their daughter's recitals or them showing up to the school concert and showing the difference in how their child truly appreciated those moments because they
Mhm.
matter, right? Like to act like they don't matter and you could just miss them is unrealistic. So I think that is my main issue with what Nick Cannon is doing.
That
It's just
is.
no way you can be
Mhm.
present for all those
Exactly.
children and all these different households. And it's already the stigma for people that live in that type of celebrity world, right? And
Mhm.
the non-presence that they do on top of.
Mhm.
And now you're saying, now I got a sibling that live over there. I got a sibling that live over there. And just trying
Exactly.
for those kids growing up, that's gonna be
Yeah, how
hard.
are you? But you know what? It's like there
Mm-hmm.
needs to be a male presence in the household, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And so if you have, I think it's like 4 or 5 different women, and
What is
and
that?
you just showing up. Let's just say at minimum you showing up once a week.
Mm-hmm.
You are not parenting. And
Yep.
so then, oh yeah, this is what it was. I just thought about it, PJ, the conversation I said I was having with the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing. So I was having this conversation with one of my male friends, and we started talking about Woman King. And
Oh.
so the conversation literally went down a rabbit hole. And I said, "Well, did you like the movie?" And it was a great movie. However, he didn't like how it depicted women or how it made women appear as, listen, I don't need a man. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm strong. I can kick tail. I can lead the village. I can do all this. I don't need a man. And so we kind of like, I'm telling you, I've been debating relationship stuff for the last like week or two. But at any rate, so we went down that whole rabbit hole of why women have been positioned, in my opinion, to have to be strong. It's like You have to be strong. And so even in Nick Cannon's situation, yeah, buddy, you got all the money to pay for everything. However, you're not showing up. So at the end of the day, even if you are footing the whole bill, I'm calling the shots. I'm here day to day, making the decisions. I'm the doctor, I'm the therapist, I'm the caregiver, I'm the cook, I'm the,
Mhm.
transport, I'm doing transportation, I'm
Mhm.
doing everything. And you get to show up once every 2 weekends or whatever and buy all this flashy stuff and have fun. It's unfair to the parent,
Mm-hmm.
when these dads, want to do this. And so, anyway, so when women do position themselves as having to do all of these things, then the men are mad. How are you going to be mad when you are the pop-up pops?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's definitely because definitely, spending time is definitely going to show more than, oh, I provided. And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
and it's mothers and fathers. There are some mothers and fathers who feel like because they were a good provider that they did their job and they were the best parent of the year and
Mm-hmm.
were absent
Right.
physically, emotionally, and all of those other things,
Mentally. Hmm.
mentally, and all of that, and just don't have a I don't care because I feel like I provided for you, so I don't care. And that ain't it.
That ain't it.
Uh,
Yeah.
time is, and I said that one of the power principles with the trainees. That's a currency that is so valuable, and we always
Mhm.
misuse it and misspend it. Uh,
Mm.
we always mishandle time. And
Uh-huh. No,
that
that's true.
and when you and because as a child they thinking like now like you're saying like they might come with the flashy stuff. They think, oh, this is nice now. But when they start getting older and they start looking things over and thinking back on stuff, you know what? They was not there as much as I.
Yeah, they didn't come to my fifth grade graduation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and,
Yeah.
and so when these parents come in and wanting to overcompensate with these flashy things, of course the kid's going to take the road of least resistance. Oh, mommy don't have no rules, daddy don't have no rules. Oh, they cool, So then they go against the other parent, which then causes friction. So at the end of the day, whether the parent is in the household or not, they should always present themselves as a unified front instead of whoever the absent parent is, using money and flashy things to overcompensate for that absence. But I love what you said is that time is a currency. Oh my gosh, that's magic
Mhm.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, people
So
don't
Nick
even.
Cannon, we saw the comments. Keyshawn Brooks said he might have to build a compound and have
Yeah, I like
houses
that.
for the baby mamas and to get so he can
Yeah.
get to everybody.
I mean, at
um,
this point, he might as well because, and I hate to say this, they clearly have signed up for it too. Like they know what it
Yeah.
is. So,
yeah,
I mean, bring them
I
all in
want
the
to do
house
an
together,
agreement
and I'm
too with
sure
that.
they'll be okay with
But
it.
maybe they just feel like, I don't have to work. I get a nanny. Because his money is long now. Don't get it
Is
twisted.
it really this long? No, this is what I'm really trying to find out. Is his money really as long as 12 kids to like take care of him and the mamas? Because like I just feel like
I think it
is it
is.
that much? I
I
did not
think
know
his
Nick
money is
Cannon.
long.
I think so
Oh,
because
We're
this is
gonna have to do
remember
a
he
we're gonna have to
it
be
is.
continue on that. We're gonna have to do some research.
remember because he was on Nick,
And
so
what
he was
kind of
all that.
medical insurance
He
he
did
got?
a lot of stuff with Nickelodeon and all
Yeah,
that
he got
stuff,
Nickelodeon
What
and
and
kind
then
of medical insurance do these kids got in him? Because I'm sure the mama thing. Like, what is the medical insurance going on? Like, how deep are these? Yeah,
yeah,
I
he
didn't know
has
that.
a lot. I
he
mean,
yeah.
yeah, because I
So
think the whole Nickelodeon thing is where
is
he
what
made his coin.
yeah.
He
Okay.
was literally up there.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's my little show he has?
Wilding out. Yeah, he
Wilding
was
Out. So
on
he
MC.
has that. He got a lot of stuff too that I just think too we don't
Mhm.
even reference or know about too.
So
Okay.
another daddy and another baby. P
Oh,
Diddy. He is
first of
82
all,
years old.
they
I
was calling him. They was 82. They
don't know how old he is, 50 something. And he
was
just
calling
had
him granddaddy.
a new baby with a 28-year-old. And he named the baby Love Sean Combs. So you know his real name is Sean
That-
Combs. This new baby's name is Love Sean Combs. And so is that
That's
name
too
kind
much
of
for me.
gimmicky? Because remember, he wanted to go by Brother Love not too long ago, a couple years back. He wanted to be called Brother Love. So I
What
guess
is? I
him
mean, it's like, is
rebranding
he?
his name through his child. So,
Yeah. What is he? I
She's
understand. I don't
pretty.
know.
She's very,
She
very
is
pretty.
so pretty.
Oh my! I said,
She,
oh, I would just hold her. She
I
is so cute.
know. She's
Uh,
so cute.
she is so pretty. That's and so that's
But
so hard for me because she's so pretty.
but
She
let
is
me
so
ask this. So it's crazy because him and Young Miami. So
mhm.
that was a whole, so he has this baby, but then I thought he was supposed to be with Young Miami. And
So
then
they have been broke up, but Carisha said that she already knew that the baby was coming because
yeah,
they only been
oh,
broken up for a short amount of time.
yeah.
But she said she already knew that the baby was coming when they were together.
oh
Hmm.
So
really?
so
Okay.
that would have been an interesting dynamic if they still would have stayed together and now you got a baby.
Right. Well, you know what too? So which leads me to Krishan and Blueface. I mean, what we doing?
I with their relationship, I hope they separate because I feel like we're watching a tragedy waiting to happen, and it's going to be until something bad really happens that they're going to be like, "Oh my gosh!" So I really
Right.
hope they get away from each other and move
But
on.
do people like, so do these people do this stuff because they're in the spotlight and it keeps their ratings up?
I
The
don't
last
think so. And
uh,
like with Krishan, and I hate to say this, and I was just so mad that it had such a negative effect of Baltimore. That
uh,
whole scene, I don't know if you guys actually watched like that whole episode of her family.
Mm-mm,
Um, and
mm-mm,
it seems like it's just more than blue, right? In her situation, right? Like a lot of
mm,
her issues stem from like at home, like
mm-hmm.
mm,
her parents and her siblings, and
uh,
just I think she was just recently on live or whenever it was, um, because her mom, I guess, addicted to drugs and the way the
yeah,
family had it. So it's just like for her, it's just so sad, right? Because
mhm,
we see this, we see stories
yeah,
like her, and now the world is seeing it, right? We know that this can happen in our community, and
mhm.
now it's like seeing it and seeing that now it's gotten to the point where they're fighting, like physically fighting. She's
right.
getting locked up, he's getting locked up.
Fighting daddy,
Yeah,
everybody just fighting. There's a
yeah,
whole cloud
Everybody
yeah.
excited.
Like
posted.
it's
Yeah.
just it's just so, and I think PJ is absolutely right. Like it's like we're watching it,
Mhm.
and unfortunately for me, it's like, well, how long is everybody in their circle going to allow them to keep this up before?
I mean, it was over the top with the teeth getting knocked out for me, baby. You knock my teeth out, you ain't never talking to me no more. The
Exactly.
front teeth,
No,
like, yeah, we not doing that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
They need Dr. Phil, Oprah, Ellen. They need somebody. They need
what was crazy was I watched the interview she was on, and it was very recent. Like it was a recent one, and
Mhm.
they asked her, "Well, how long have you and Blue been dating?" She
Okay.
said like 2 weeks, and they were like, "What?" She said,
What?
"No, like we were messing with each other, but we just really started officially 2 weeks ago."
What? And then I saw on this one thing, was she supposed to be pregnant?
Well, they had so what happened was she said she could be right,
Oh,
and so then she mentioned it's the same podcast. She was then mentioning that she had aborted about 1,000 before,
yeah,
and
right.
then said, "Well, maybe this time I am." I'm like, "Oh my goodness."
Right, yeah.
But
So,
I think when she does stuff like that, I do think that some of that is for entertainment, right?
yeah,
I do think saying statements like that, that's entertainment. But I think a lot of her cry out for help, like I remember somebody was like, "Well, just listen to one of her songs," because she's not really my type vibe. I think that's just not my
mhm,
type of music.
mhm,
But you can hear like if you just listen to the lyrics, it's like the girl needs help. Like I hate to say it, like she needs
Mhm.
mhm.
help, and you can see that a lot of it stems from.
I'm gonna call Iyanla
You said you could call who?
And y'all are fans saying,
because
Oh no,
she
I
can
don't know. She be putting people head in the dirt and everything.
she can fix everybody's life if she can fix the
Oh,
people.
no.
She
so
Mm-mm.
can.
so
So
look, let me ask this. Lo, did you do any baking or breakfast over the holiday?
over the holiday, heck
Yeah, have you
no.
been cooking any scrambled eggs or and bacon and
No,
Boy,
have you?
Deviled eggs.
I have, but let me tell you what happened. I go to the grocery store
Okay.
and I'm looking in the in the refrigerator section. And I said, I need to get some eggs because we're gonna do some baking around here, and we're gonna have some big breakfast, on
Yeah, you got
Christmas
a full
morning.
house.
Yeah, so I need a couple dozen, few dozen, baby. Guess how much those eggs were? Between
Oh
six
yeah.
fifty and
Yeah.
$8
Yeah.
for 12.
Yeah. I had got some eggs
That's
right
a whole
before Christmas.
conversation right there.
Yeah. No, I had got some eggs prior to Christmas. Yeah, they expensive. Like seriously.
Because I
It's
remember eggs was the $2. Or
Yeah, $1 and something.
exactly
Yeah.
155 maybe.
I said, what in the world? So the man walked up, and I know his wife had sent him over to the store. He comes in there, and I said, "Oh my goodness, the eggs $8." Because we was looking, at the $8. He said, "Oh, and my wife wants me to get $2." He almost cried. He almost cried. Listen, I don't know what's going on. Look, we gotta have a conversation about these high behind eggs and not
Oh,
being able to get no wings less than $30. But
exactly.
what's up with the chicken?
So Tisha Brown commented and said it's an increase by 49%.
That's
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
wow. But that's like when
Yeah.
we were talking about what were we talking about before on one of those previous ones? It was a shortage of something, and it
Probably chicken.
was
Oh
it
no, so what
was
it was, you could
no
find the legs, but couldn't find the wings.
no
Yeah.
we talked about something. It was something with bacon. Was it milk? Not milk or butter. It was butter, I think.
Was it? Well,
No.
I know
Hmm.
when we around Thanksgiving time, nobody could find heavy whipping cream. So I don't know what
Yeah,
yeah.
I think if they need to get it together with these animals.
Exactly. But you know what, guys? We did not even do the intro to the show. So let's get it started right now.
All right.
All right. So
So y'all,
this is gonna be
we recapping the year. That's why we said we spend a little time on hot topics because we usually go fast to get our guests the most time, but we said we're going to chill out a little bit today. So
yeah.
we're recapping all of 2020 for Power 52 and including a little bit of
2022.
hot topics of what happened with us, what happened with other people, what happened in Baltimore, things like that. So one thing I said we have to mention and recap: Pastor Jamal Bryant.
Mm.
He's in hot water yet again. He's in hot water for an idea he had with his church. So he was on an interview, and he stated he had an idea that he wanted to grow cannabis on the church property to teach about agriculture, teach about farming and growing and da 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 da. And he said it's another way to bring back black men into the church. So, people were upset with Jamal. They said, you can't bring cannabis because people, just church, we still looking at it as drugs. It's still drugs. Not do not do right now.
Yeah.
And they're saying you bring in drugs, and it's you can't do that on church property. It might be a good idea, but you can't do that on church property. It's you can't mix the two. So many people are upset. But when he was on the show with us, he talked about some of the stuff he wanted to do with New Birth and the property that he had and things like that. So let's take a look real quick on what he said when he was on the show.
In this pandemic, I am embarrassed to have to say to you all that in the pandemic, I had to feed 850,000 families. We're now in the road to 1 million. And I
Mm.
say that, hear me,
Mhm.
with no pride, with no
Mhm.
glory. I'm saying that to underscore what you're saying, that
Mhm.
nobody talks about the food insecurity.
Mhm.
When we got PJ to 500,000, I said, wait a minute, we hustling backwards. The church
Mhm.
that I pastor in Atlanta, New Birth Cathedral, DeAndre, we are the largest land owning black church in America. My church
Mm,
is sitting on 365 acres. So
Wow.
I paused in the middle of the pandemic and said, y'all, let's do urban gardening. So behind
mm,
my church, we're growing okra and collard greens
Mm-hmm.
and
mhm,
tomatoes because before I'm looking for partners when I have the land to do it. It speaks to
mhm,
environmental justice. I'm starting, PJ, to try to do what you all are doing and do a solar farm here at our church. And
mhm.
I was really met at opposition I didn't know. And you all are much more abreast than I am because rural whites have mastered the market.
Mhm.
And because farming has gone down, they have tried to take over the solar market
Oh yeah.
and act as if for us to do it is an infringement on their white entitlement.
Well, let
So,
me
what it
tell
is
you,
that
I
you
got
all are
some
doing there
connections for
is
you.
really just a reflection of what I'm trying to do here. We are
Mhm.
circulating that same wheel. As people told me, there's Atlanta and then there's Georgia.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
the rest of
Yeah.
Georgia don't
Right.
look like Atlanta. So it's a whole different reality that we're having to navigate. So you're absolutely correct.
So guys, I definitely looking at that. I think he should have went with the solar.
Exactly. Yeah.
No,
Because
seriously.
those
Yeah,
he was mentioning some innovative ideas for especially a church and a black church to do, and
Yeah.
probably better use and more. It probably would have been better received than his marijuana endeavor.
Here's the thing. What many people don't know is that a couple things. I think it was right before the pandemic. I had actually went to a workforce development conference over in Ellicott City, and they talked about this was the first time I had ever seen it, but they actually had sessions for workforce development in marijuana and
Mm,
cannabis. Yeah. And so even when we went to Lo and I, we had gone to this workshop or conference this year. We were able to meet a couple people who were actually doing it. And so what people don't know is that even though I really think so, I'm kind of like straddling the fence here. I really think his idea is innovative. It's very innovative in saying, hey, I have this land and I know that the young people are interested in weed. So let me try to offer some workforce development to get them off the street. And then they'll get back in the church too and think that we're really cool. However, me being the church girl, yeah, no, not on church property. Like you just can't. Like I get it. I get where he's going, but because I think I have my foot, in both, church girl as well as nonprofit workforce development. So I get it. But I think that it would have been a safer play if he had just called me up and said, "Hey, Ree, come on down here. Let's do some workforce development. Let's do a solar farm back here. We want to get our people to
mhm,
build the solar farm, and then we're going to put them to work. So they'll, build this project. Then they'll go to work, and then we can use the power.
mhm,
Then we can use the church as a resiliency hub. And
mhm,
then, it's for the community by the community. And it would have been well received, definitely, because right now, in this new green economy, as we like to say, our people are underserved and it's not a diversified it's not what marijuana is used for medical or medicinal purposes. Yeah, and so, but I think definitely it would have been well received. But back to the marijuana workforce development, people are getting into this because, believe it or not, even though our people are out there selling it illegally on the streets, guess what? In this marijuana era of the legalized marijuana, our people are actually being left out.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Mhm.
not a very diverse industry on the legal side of things. And so
Yeah.
I think that what Pastor Bryant is doing is saying, look, we're going to diversify this sector, and we're going to use it to bring people back to the church and so on. So I get it, and I know I'm a fit straddler with that one, but that's all I got
Mhm.
to say.
Yeah. Yeah. So before we move on for Jamal Bryant, he before he left the show, he had a funny clip when he was about to leave. Let's see that. And I want to get
Back on the show, I'm gonna tell y'all how I had a crush on our co-host and how she shot me down. The very first person to shoot me down in my life. It has impacted my entire adult life and my relationships
uh-oh.
because of the Uzi she used without a silencer. But I'll see y'all on next time. Y'all take care.
Oh.
Bye.
Thank you
See,
so much.
hold on. No, is this on video?
Live in
I knew
living
nothing
color.
about this. I am going
So I
to
think we
hurt him.
I think we definitely need a part two of radical righteousness.
That was definitely radical righteousness. Good Lord. Oh my goodness. I am hurting him. And first of all,
Let
wait
us
a
know in
minute.
the comments if we need to have him back so we can talk about this Uzi without a silencer.
Yeah, that part. Hold on. I was laughing so hard. I did not even hear him say that. Not Uzi without a silencer.
Look, I said we need him to come back just so we can get to the bottom of that.
First of all, the kissing booth, the dating game in the kissing booth. Let me find out what we doing, because we definitely gonna set low up with somebody,
Yeah,
Oh,
no, there she go.
and I
There
know
she,
who.
yeah, no. See,
Lord.
that's why
Let
you
me
know.
run that clip.
So y'all, we still talking about um environmental justice. We did something. We was a part of some history.
Yes. So let me just talk about this. So, you know, definitely, y'all, I know I just got finished saying that, right now, everyone, our people, we need to know about this clean, green energy economy, this new clean energy economy, because the Biden administration is going hard on it. They definitely have, this Inflation Reduction Act. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. If not, we literally received some documents from the White House. Well, I did a couple weeks ago, that I can send it out to you guys. Anyone who's interested, we can post it on our website so that you guys can. But definitely the IRA, it has so many, things in here about this, called the Inflation Reduction Act. But they're talking about workforce development in this green, renewable energy sector. They're talking about just all the billions of dollars that they're putting in this renewable energy sector. And so when you start to familiarize yourself about this clean, green economy and all the billions of dollars that's going into it through the IRA and the Justice 40 Act, then you're going to say, oh, yeah, our community members, then you're going to have a clear understanding of why Power 52 here and why we do what we do. But please do not leave any rock unturned. When you hear Justice 40, you need to start listening. When you hear IRA, you need to start listening, because our people need to be involved in this. Power 52 Foundation, we were in the inaugural cohort of the Justice 40 Accelerator, and they have done tremendous. So we're going to give a shout out to the J40 Accelerator. For everything that they have done to support Power 52 Foundation, and so that we are, gearing ourselves up to access some of these billions of dollars that's in this act. And so we were actually invited by the Justice 40 Accelerator to participate in the documentary that they did, and I believe Jeff Bezos have helped to fund this documentary. And so we want to show you guys a clip of it if you missed it.
All right.
Standing at this mural brings, I guess, a multitude of feelings. First, anger that it happened at the hands of police brutality, but then motivated because I feel that this is what motivated me to do what we do at Power 52 Foundation.
When all the rioting was happening in downtown Baltimore City, that's when Ray Lewis and our CEO, Ms. Brooks, got together and decided that they needed to change Baltimore. We needed to make Baltimore better.
The uprising that took place in Baltimore was the catalyst that started our co-founders to think and just really let the whole nation and the whole world see that it's a bigger issue in Baltimore than what we're looking at. It's more than just police brutality. It's an economic issue.
You can see we're riding through here and there are no supermarkets. When you look at why there's no access to healthy foods, then you're saying, okay, so we have disparities in education, we have disparities to food, healthy food, access to healthy foods, and then also no clean energy access. And then, one day I said, I got it. We're going to do Power 52 Foundation, and we're going to do training. We're going to bring forth opportunities, not only opportunities as far as economic empowerment, but we're going to do economic empowerment through clean energy access.
We, train people who are returning citizens, but our focus is the youth in low to moderate income communities, and specifically black and brown people. We go into high schools, we go in different areas that are our target demographics.
This is just one of 5 community centers that Power 52 has transformed into this resilience hub. It was important for us to do the resiliency hub here in an underserved community because individuals who live here, they do not have access to clean energy. We knew Living Classrooms owned this community center. We brought in other community partners like Baltimore, the city of Baltimore.
We also teach life skills, interview processes. They get formal attire so they now can go to an interview. And when we conduct what we've termed speed interviews, it's our employer partners and the students, and that's it.
Power 52 is just all about, bringing resources, bringing different opportunities to the community, giving them the hand up that we need in the community.
I think that all the organizations that were birthed out of this anger and their cry for help, it's very motivating to me.
Everyone at Power 52, we consider ourselves a family. And when you come through Power 52, it's not that you just get a craft, you now become part of our family.
We can be the change that not only Baltimore needs, not only Maryland needs, but the whole world needs right now.
We're not done, and we have more work to do.
Yes.
Yes. Yay.
Yes.
You know what, y'all? I want to talk about me driving with my hands off the wheel.
Exactly.
What am I thinking about?
Over the MVA. But for y'all, I'm famous now. I'm accepting autographs. It's $20 per autograph.
Oh my goodness. Every time I see that video and see the community that, Power 52, we're in so many different communities of other organizations who help to pour into us and help to advance our mission. We definitely, again, want to give a huge shout out to the Justice 40 Accelerator and all the organizations who make up the Justice 40 Accelerator, and definitely to the Institute for Sustainable Communities and the PRC. We just got invited to come back to the PRC, and that's Partners for Resilient Communities Network. And we're going to be doing some amazing things in 2023. We're creating a partnership in Baltimore City in the Sandtown community with New Song Community Learning Center. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Forgive me, Jason, if I mispronounce. But we're definitely, we're known. People think that we're just known for our training. We're known for the things that we're able to leave in the communities. We are the first organization to ever do a resiliency hub servicing a public housing community, the first in the nation, guys. That's huge. And our trainees actually built that system and left it in the community. And so, with all the Inflation Reduction Act and again the Justice 40, we are here to leave even more and bring about even more opportunity in this sector. Like I said, when we first started, we are at the intersection of, environmental justice, diversity, equity, inclusion. That's what we fight for each and every day. Definitely. So you want to get on board. You want to get in this. So when you see our post saying that we are enrolling, get on, because guess what? In a minute, you're not going to be able to get this because the list is going to be so full, because they are, I'm telling you, they're looking to have by the year 2030, 1.5 million jobs in this sector. So, I hate that our people, a lot of times we're looked at as bandwagoners, but guess what? Power 52, we have been doing this for 7 entire years. So, trying, we're, talking to the community members, offering, what we do, the education and training and resources at no cost. And we're out here grinding. So, I charge everyone to volunteer. If you don't want to do solar, volunteer. Tell your grandsons, tell your nephews, tell your sons, tell your
Tell your
husbands.
nieces, tell
Yeah,
your daughters.
your nieces, tell your daughters, because it's just not for men, about what's going on. Because you don't want to look up and literally, I mean, we're going into 2023, 7 years from now, say, wow, people not included in this.
Hmm.
That's it.
Exactly. And Power 52 has been seen as, you know, very pioneering in this sector and of, renewable energy.
Right.
So, like that old hymn says, get on board if you want to
Exactly.
see, well, they say if you want to see Jesus, but if you want to be with the originators, like Little Richard, we are the architects, we are the originators. So just definitely hop on for a good
So,
cause.
so you know what? What we want to do? Let's jump into this right quick. Let's just jump down to this. What do you guys want to see on in the booth next year?
Mhm.
I know we used to do Tony's trade talk. Should we bring that back? Do we have a clip we can show the guys, show the family here?
Hello, I'm Tony Johnson, Power 52 Energy Institute. Welcome to today's Tony's Trade Talks. With winter on the way, I thought we'd cover winter walking and non-slip conditions. So, you need to, of course, wear proper boots. Your boots should have rubber soles that grip in the snow and ice. If they don't, you can get overshoes that clip onto the bottom of them, have little spikes so that you can walk and stay upright without slipping and falling. You also do not want to walk with your hands in your pockets. With your hands in your pockets, if you go to fall, now you got to try and pull them out. You won't pull them out fast enough before you hit the ground. And if you're carrying anything and you go to slip and fall, throw it out of the way. You can buy something new to replace it, but you don't want to hit the ground and possibly break something. Now, in the event of a fall, you always want to fall forward, never backwards. Now, when you're falling forwards, you want to kind of turn and roll, and at the same time, put your hands on the back of your neck and the back of your head to protect your head and neck. If you can't get out of the situation and you know you got to walk on slippery surfaces, you want to do what we call a penguin walk. So you curl your toes inside your shoes and you take little penguin steps. You can maintain your balance that way. If you go to step out far and slip, now you're not maintaining your balance and you're more apt to fall. Okay? If you're going to be at night, you want to have some kind of bright garment on. You can wear a reflective vest or a red stocking cap or red scarf, something just to get you visible to other people because it could be nasty weather and snow, and people tend to blur in that snow. Okay, now if you're driving and you're going to go get out of your car, when you go to get out of your car, you open up your door, you look down at where you're going to be stepping. If it's icy and snowy and there's a clear spot, move your car over to the clear spot. Pretty simple, right? But if you got to get out in a slippery situation, you want to step out, not jump, and use the door and the seat or the car to help support you until you can get the door closed and then penguin walk out. We'll see you next time. Hope this helped.
I,
Oh,
Oh,
uh-oh.
sorry.
Look at BJ's face.
ooh, I say bring it back.
I
Uh,
think we hear some
because
bringing
that
back.
was helpful because we about to get cold again, and I needed that refresher course on the European stuff to hold my head and neck because the driveway is steep, and if I slip and fall, I say
Yeah.
bring it
You
back.
don't want
There's
to break your crown.
some useful tips there. Let us know.
Okay.
Bring it back. We can bring back some other topics like Lowe's.
Uh-oh. We can
Lowe's
make up some
411.
time.
My what? Hold on.
I
Which
said Lowe's
topic?
411.
Oh, y'all are funny. Y'all are funny. That would probably
Yeah.
not be as
Yeah.
popular as Tony. Tony.
So we do have some upcoming events because we're about to let y'all go, y'all. But we do have some upcoming events for 2023 that we want y'all to put on y'all calendar because you know when Power 52 does something, you don't want to miss it. So we're having in February, cohort 21. Cohort 21, it
Yes.
starts February 27th. So if you know a young lady, a young man that they need something to do, tell them, send them our way. We are enrolling now. Send them our way. They can contact me, and I'm gonna get them straight. Let them know immediately, expeditiously,
That's right.
um, so they can get in
How do
live.
they get power52.org
Power52.org/training.
Yes.
Or you can email me, pj@power52.org. So yes, live, the party is back. It's going to be called Live the Energy Eclipse.
Ooh.
Live the
Right.
Energy Eclipse. That's going to be June 1st, 2023. You know how we do it. Anybody is allowed to show up, and you know it's going to be a good time. So
That's
you
right.
need to put that on your calendar. Take your
Party with a
PTO.
purpose.
Party with a purpose. So June 1st, live the energy eclipse, live energy eclipse. Eclipse. I said eclipse. Eclipse. And then also, backed by popular demand, live on the green. My
Yes.
golf classic is coming back September 18th, 2023. So you don't want to miss that. Again, with that golf classic, anybody is allowed to show up. So you want to be a part of it too.
That's
Yes.
right. So guys, we had some sad news that we could not leave this last show of the year without mentioning we mentioning the fact that we lost a graduate of Power 52. Definitely, if you ever come and interact with us, you are family. But we want to dedicate this last show of the year to, this was one of my favorite, Mr. Maurice Way. We lost him on Sunday, December 11th. And so definitely we send our prayers up to the family. We're praying for his friends and Power 52 family. If you're interested in, attending the memorial, feel free next week to contact the office and we will share the information with you. But definitely, we dedicate this show to him. And so I think L'Oreal has a clip.
I'm Maurice Way. Actually, I first heard about this program in court. and they offered it to somebody, and he didn't want to do it, and I jumped at the chance. Honestly, definitely like what I heard about it. Especially, I have a background, so I had went through the diesel mechanic field, and my background was a hindrance. So I was definitely into this. They offered it to me at court, so I know my background couldn't be that much of a hindrance. I feel great. The thing about this opportunity, I feel it's going to provide me the opportunity to actually afford those opportunities to other people in my same situation. Is what I plan on doing with the knowledge that y'all given me. So I could train for OSHA 30, and I also would like to take my lead classes. Among other things, I want to train for this. I can make an army of PV installers that don't have an opportunity with certifications, so you're getting paid for something. I mean, I know you're teaching a lot. I mean, of course, I'm absorbing information, but as far as personal growth, I definitely would like to. I appreciate him coming in there and giving his words of mentorship. But actually, for me personally, I definitely appreciate it. Helped me get myself in the head, more so than just in the books. I'm very appreciative for the opportunity from Power 52 to better myself.
Wow. So we are definitely praying for Maurice's family, his baby girl, adorable baby girl, and his mom, Angelica. So again, if you're a part of the Power 52 family and you would like the information about his memorial, feel free to reach out to us. Oh my goodness. So this is torn us to shreds, but um, not to bring it down. But Lo, how can you support Power 52?
Oh, of
Pass
course.
the offering, please.
Y'all know this is my favorite thing to do. I just so you can go to Cash App, PayPal, Givelify, or Zelle. And of course, it's all on your screen. But you can also, our best way is to go to our shop and shop our swag. And we have some new things coming in 2023. So be on the lookout for that because this is honestly the best way to also push our mission by having our logo on your chest, our power principles on that, as you just heard Maurice say, make a huge difference. So, yes, definitely check us out on all these platforms.
Thank you, guys.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So, our first guest of the season was Pastor Michael Phillips, and he said something very profound that we want to end the show with. So, we're going to play another clip.
Going to be transformative for our society. Now, we don't have that. That's just me being me. What we do have is, as individuals, to know that you're one decision away from the life you want or the life you don't. And you're
Mm-hmm.
going to have to make
Yeah.
peace with your past. Okay.
Exactly.
You cannot, it doesn't travel well. Okay. It's the type of baggage that's going to leave you at baggage claim forever. Forever.
I know
Forever.
that's right.
Forever. You got to make peace with your past, and you got to stop being loyal to your mistakes. Have to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I loved what he said. Make peace with your past and stop being loyal to your mistakes. So remember, wrong lanes have right turns. The last shout out, you can get his book if you want to learn his story. And I know L'Oreal read the entire book like twice, but but
It's
if you
really good. It's a really good book. It's a really
yeah, so if you want some true inspiration as we transition into 2023, again, make peace with your past and stop being loyal. And stop being loyal to your mistakes. That's deep. So,
Mm-hmm.
guys, we're going. That's all we have for you on the 2022 recap.
Exactly.
So, like I say, life is short. So remember to forgive quickly, love truly, and kiss the community with your gifts. See you in 2023, guys. Be safe out there. Happy New Year.